Uh-oh, looks like we may finally be getting a little bit more information about what really happened to Usher when he was at Diddy's flavor camp as a teenager. Not that we haven't heard enough, because there's already a lot out here. And I mean, a lot. Well, I mentioned that earlier that he said about Stevie J, the Usher part, that's a touchy situation, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I had a certain feeling and I felt a certain way when Usher got on Shay Shay, and I don't mean to mention other people platforms, but he got on Shay Shay and he mentioned how great and how good Puff taught him. And everything. You know what I'm saying about the business, right? I know, and people know that was around that in that time that Puff and Usher did have a situation, and that situation led Usher to the hospital. But honeys, allegedly there are more people who are willing to come out and expose exactly what happened to Usher. And allegedly one of those people is a health practitioner. I know this has the potential to change everything. Literally. Well, I'm not sure if anything they say is going to surprise us at this point, but based on what I've heard, things were way messier than we could imagine. Okay, I'm sure by now we all know the background, which is that when Usher was first signed to LaFace Records as a young teen, he was given to Diddy to be mentored. And at 14 years old, Usher moved to New York to stay with him, and his mom is the one who signed off on the deal, even though she specifically said she did not know Diddy. Remember, Usher went to stay with Puffy. Now, that was a business decision. Right there, because I didn't know Puffy. I didn't know him. What Usher's mom said was that when Usher hit puberty, he basically lost his voice and record labels no longer wanted anything to do with him. And Diddy, who was with them when the record label wanted to drop him, said he would take him, and that Usher's mom just had to trust him. Well, it was only a matter of time before Diddy introduced Usher to the wild side of life, allegedly. And we had people like Ed Lover once recalling a time when he went to a club and Usher was drinking in the company of P. Diddy. Allegedly, he was like, I look to my right and there's a kid standing right there drinking champagne. And I couldn't help but wonder who the hell let their child come into this club, stand in the VIP section, and drink champagne. I mean, guzzling champagne out of the bottle. Apparently, it was only after Usher's album dropped that he realized that the child with P. Diddy at the club guzzling champagne in the VIP section was Usher. Allegedly. I mean, the way Usher started acting around Diddy after leaving the flavor camp was just off, and it was written all over his face that he never liked what went down. Like this one time when Diddy was talking about Kevin Hart to Usher and his reaction just said it all. My brother right here from day one, we used to wake up and I mean, damn pause. But like just I mean back in the days when he was like 10 and I was a little bit older, his older brother, we used to fight over the frosted flakes. You know what I'm saying? Before pause was invented. You know what I'm saying? But it's my brother for real. We used to actually wrestle off of the frosted flakes because he used to always get up early than me. Now he's one of the richest in the world. Did y'all see how Usher's face looked uncomfortable as hell when Diddy said, we used to wake up? He was looking at him like, man, be quiet. And I also find it a bit sus that he tried to clown Kevin for getting too close to the bed in the beginning of the clip. And then right after that, he says he and Usher used to wake up together. And for those who were keen enough, you probably noticed a toy on that bed. There was also this time Diddy was complimenting Usher as being fly and mentioned Usher eating cereal in his kitchen. I was so mesmerized. I don't even know what you talking about. I was just so blown away by the stamina. The connection, we had to be connected. We had to be connected that long. So much you got, like so much mother here. All those dance numbers and all that. Take your time with it, breathe it in. Yeah, the yours when you doing this is for you. This ain't for nobody else but you. You take your time, boy. I see you fly ass doing Vegas. You in the kitchen eating all my cereal, man. We doing babies in a pink suit. God is the greatest. Won't he do it? Now, allegedly, the reason why Usher Hassel was been uncomfortable is cause Diddy allegedly had his way with him. And the situation, according to Gene Deal and others, landed Usher in the hospital. Allegedly. I've even heard that all these things that were happening to Usher were supposed to come up in the book that Kim Porter was writing, which disappeared just before she died. Insiders have said that that book covered in detail how Diddy slept with different men on multiple occasions allegedly, and how Usher's mom confronted Diddy about allegedly being intimate with Usher and giving him an STD after she found out what was going on. Allegedly, There have also been reports claiming that Kim also had video footage of Diddy taking advantage of Usher, but that also disappeared because just before she died, someone broke into her house and only her laptops were stolen. Kim knew all his deepest secrets. You understand? Kim knew why he was using the butt plugs. Man, Kim probably told all that in her book. You understand? That up and got missing the day she died. So yeah, I think we can comfortably assume that something did go down between Usher and Diddy allegedly. And if we're being honest, Usher himself has hinted at very wild and inappropriate things happening when he was at Puffy's flavor camp. Like in the famous Howard Stern interview, for instance. Hey, it was curious. I got a chance to see some things. Yeah, but you were 13. What were you saying? I went there to see the lifestyle and I saw it and it was, but I don't know if I could indulge and understand what I was even looking at. It was pretty wild. It was so nobody tried to some woman didn't come along. I didn't say that. Okay, I understand. What I did say is that there were very curious things taking place and I didn't necessarily understand it. Child, in this interview, Usher also said that as a dad, he would never allow his son to go to puppy flavor camp, and that kind of told us everything we needed to know. Now, in 2004, Usher also said in a Rolling Stone interview that Diddy introduced him to a totally different world. And while recalling what was going on in that house, he said there was always girls around. You'd open a door and see somebody doing it. Several people in a room having an orgy. You never knew what was going to happen. Again, during his 35th birthday celebration in 2013, Usher spoke about his time with Diddy, who was in attendance at the celebration. In a speech, Usher described Diddy's parties, saying he was introduced to everything by Puff Daddy when he was only 15. Parties, women, and everything that came with it. He said he had a taste of it, but he never let it take him over. And he also said that he wouldn't pass on any of the advice Diddy gave him to anybody. In addition, there was also a time when Usher was on the cover of Essence magazine, and he sort of let it slip that something did go down between him and Diddy, allegedly. First of all, he was very cool when asked about other things like how he would continue to pursue movie projects and somewhere down the road a new album and several business ventures. He said, "Something that you should know about me is that I'm a businessman before I'm anything else. Look at the capabilities of Martha Stewart or Russell Simmons or Sean Puffy Combs or even 50 Cent with Gun It. Look at what they did with their licensing. This is my opportunity to do the same. Clothing and shoes are kind of the standard nowadays. So I'm trying to figure out how I can come at it from a different angle." But based on what the interviewer said when the talk turned to his time living with P. Diddy, Usher became surprisingly restrained. And he said, "I want to save some ish for my book one day. I'll put it this way. There was a lot of S." Remember, Usher was also mentioned in the lawsuit against Diddy by Lil Rod. And while he wasn't exactly mentioned by name, a redacted excerpt caught the attention of followers because it was clearly pointing to Usher. I mean, an artist who performed at the Super Bowl and had a successful Vegas residency. That sure sounds like Usher, right? As for the context in which Usher even came up, apparently, allegedly, Diddy was bragging to Lil Rod about hooking up with two people in the industry. One of them, a Philadelphia rapper who dated Nicki Minaj, allegedly Meek Mill, and the artist who performed at the Super Bowl and had a successful Vegas residency, aka Usher. And don't get me wrong, as much as Usher may have gone through things with Diddy, I'm not saying that Usher is innocent. There's been a lot that has been said about him too, and maybe it's as a result of what he went through when he was with Diddy. I don't know, but do y'all remember when several people claimed that Usher gave them herpes? A woman named Quantasia Sharpton along with a Jane Doe and John Doe sued Usher claiming that they all had relations with Usher and they all said he risked their health by not telling them about his alleged diagnosis and they were seeking unspecified damages. The woman, who did not identify herself, said that she slept with Usher at least twice and after contracting herpes from him, her twins were stillborn. You see, while these stories were making rounds, Usher made them disappear by paying a lot of cash allegedly. And by a lot, I mean over $1 million allegedly. So, it's not that he didn't do what he was being accused of. He just paid to make it all go away. Allegedly. Other than this, there have also been the allegations surrounding Justin Bieber with people saying that just like what happened with Usher when he went to live with Diddy and so many other notable Young male artists of that caliber who came before and after Justin Bieber was discovered, introduced to the wildlife, exposed, and turned out allegedly. What's even worse is that people say that after Usher was done with Justin Bieber, he allegedly handed him over to Diddy. Slow down, one step at a time. But yeah, the keys is yours. When when you get 16, you're good to go. I'm good to go. Yeah, alright man. And then when you get 18, you get the house. Get the mansion. Okay, I get the mansion. Yeah, alright. So, where are we off to now? Where would you like to go? Wherever you want to go. Where are we going? Check this out. Yo, I'm Justin. You ever seen the movie 48 Hours? Right now, he's having 48 hours with Diddy, him and his boy. They're having the times of their lives like where we hanging out and what we doing. We can't really disclose, but it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream. I have been given custody of him. He's signed to Usher. I'm signed to Usher. I had legal guardianship of Usher just like Usher, Justin was around the same age Usher was when he started spending a lot of time with Diddy. And Diddy was also out there promising him cars and mansions. For some reason, they stopped hanging out. And there has been footage of Justin appearing super uncomfortable when Diddy questioned him about why he stopped hanging out with him. And the assumption has always been that they both did things too. Justin allegedly. Usher also came up in Diddy's trial as one of the people who knew what was happening and covered for him courtesy of Dawn Richard, who had already dropped a bombshell lawsuit against Diddy before she took the stand, and she mentioned Usher as she claimed Usher, Ne-Yo, and Jimmy Iovine witnessed Diddy allegedly pounce on Cassie. She said, in the weeks and months leading up to the Bad Boy Intercope deal, Mr. Combs had frequent meetings with producer and then CEO of Intercope Records, Jimmy Iovine. On one such occasion, Combs hosted a dinner at a West Hollywood, California restaurant which Miss Richards and Miss Harper were required to attend. Among the guests at the dinner were celebrities like Ne-Yo and Usher, as well as Mr. Iovine. At the dinner, Mr. Combs and Miss Ventura had an argument. In front of the dinner guests, Mr. Combs hissed at Miss Ventura in a screaming whisper and forcefully punched her in the stomach, causing her to double over in visible pain. Crying, Miss Clark escorted Miss Ventura out of the restaurant and Mr. Combs remained and continued socializing with the dinner guests. So yeah, other than possibly going through his worst nightmare in Diddy's hands, Usher also possibly covered for him allegedly. Maybe this is why he's not exposed Diddy directly. But you know what? Based on what I've heard, this whole drama is about to blow up all over again. And as usual, I have my ears to the ground. And like I said, the streets are saying there's so much more than what we know, so we better be prepared, especially for that alleged account by a health practitioner. Meanwhile, let me know if you think it's finally time for Usher to drop that tell-all in the comments section below.